Hey guys, it's Joe. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be on 5D consciousness and what it is and how you can obtain it. Before we get into the video, I'd like to say that the 20% off sale on my shop will be ending on November 7th. So if you haven't bought a print already, go ahead and buy one now so you can get 20% off. Because after that, they will be going on full price. So please, I want you to get that 20% off. So go ahead and check it out. Check out my shop. The link will be in the description. Anyways, I told you guys we'll be uploading more. See? I did it. It's been like a week since I last posted. I did it. So go ahead and subscribe and like, and yeah, let's just get into the video. So obviously I'm not just going to tell you right at the jump what 5D consciousness is, because you don't even know that there are 3 levels of consciousness so far. There are higher planes that we're trying to accomplish, but so far there's only been 3 that humans have accomplished, and those are 3D, 4D, and 5D consciousness. So the D stands for dimension, and no, we're not talking about planar dimension where you literally shift dimensional planes. We're talking more about spiritual dimension. So the first spiritual dimension that most people are in is 3D. This is the dimension where scarcity is your mindset. You're more focused on like your primal instincts of like, you know, ego-based, like what don't I have, and worry. 3D is solely based on the physical, so you're more concerned about your body. People are constantly in a state of worry or fear because fear, survival, sexuality, competition, lack, and jealousy are the key drivers of 3-dimensional consciousness. In 3-dimensional consciousness, there is no desire to look within or look at things from a deeper standpoint. Life is merely just, you know, skimming the surface. Now, 4D consciousness is basically like the bridge from 3D to 5D. In 4D consciousness, you begin to awaken the idea that we are all connected and there is more than what meets the eye. However, even though you have ascended into a higher dimension, you still have the possibility into descending back into 3D consciousness. It's really all about your choices. Think of 4D consciousness as when Morpheus offers Neo the red pill or the blue pill. You can either take the blue pill and go back to 3D consciousness, or take the red pill and ascend to a higher consciousness. 4D consciousness usually tends to break through when we have wake-up calls, life challenges and crises, so like that really just like shakes our soul and like wakes us up. You are still physically in 3D, but you're more focused on love, sharing, compassion, and service. You begin to try to learn more about the power of the mind and soul, and, you know, attracting what you desire. You have a strong desire to find your purpose, and your intuition is usually amped up at this time for you to actually make decisions that will lead you to your life path, so you can follow that path and, you know, fulfill your purpose. People who are usually in 4D consciousness are typically learning about spirituality or holisticness. So if you're watching this video, then you're probably in the 4th dimension. Congratulations, you have a choice, red pill or blue pill. If you decide to choose the red pill, you ascend to 5D consciousness. In 5D consciousness, we realize that there is a higher purpose to all things, and all things hold meaning. Every single thing holds meaning. Every single one of your actions, everything that you see, everything that you don't see, everything has meaning. In 5D consciousness, everyone is seen as equal and tend to live authentically. All acts of trying to find a very attractive personality, or, you know, find some way to get more people to like you by altering yourself, that is dropped. You are you and you live authentically. In this state of consciousness, you begin to realize that there's no there's no need for competition, as the universe is already abundant and you are already abundant. And you just ask for the universe. You just ask the universe for anything that you need or desire, and it'll get to you. There is no concept of scarcity in the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, we base most of our decisions on what the soul governs. So more of like, what's your purpose? What can you bring to the world? What makes you happy? What makes you feel blissful? What makes you feel light, angelic, divine even? So a lot of the 3D world really becomes kind of like almost invisible to you, I guess. It's kind of like you can literally not see like three-dimensional things anymore. Like you'd walk past a person that's in the third dimension that you used to know, and then you just like wouldn't even recognize them anymore. And it's because you literally are seeing a different reality from anyone else. Your reality is like up here and everyone else is down here, and you only see what's in your line of sight, you know? In the fifth dimension, you are dedicated, responsible, and ready to serve the whole, which is the universe, the whole collective, whole consciousness, collective consciousness, etc. To sum that up, the difference between 5D and 3D are 3D is ego-based. It operates on conditional love, like what do you do for me to love you, etc. Has a mentality that seeing is believing. People with 3D consciousness have denser energies and tend to manifest slower, if not at all. You tend to have a scarcity mindset, play the victim, and you think logically. So most people that are watching this are like, Joe, why does logical thinking have to be in the third dimension? Wouldn't it be in a higher case, like in a higher stance of dimension? But you have to realize that everything is not logical. Like everything is not logical energy. I mean, the whole reason why this universe exists, our solar system exists, why you exist is completely illogical. No one understands it. So why must everything have a logical explanation? If you try to give everything a logical explanation, the deeper you think, the deeper you go into like this stream of consciousness, you'll end up with no answer at all. You'll end up dumbfounded, confuzzled, bamboozled. You won't get an answer. There's more to this world than logic, and I can guarantee you that. That's not to say abandon logical thinking, because it is important for situations like if you're a scientist or a mathematician or whatever the fuck you want to do in life. Sometimes logical thinking can help with like mundane things and stuff like that, so don't abandon logical thinking, but know that there are other forms of thinking. In short, logical thinking is 3D based because you do not come out of this world thinking logically. This is a learned behavior. This is a learned thinking style. You come out of this world thinking intuitively. How the fuck did you know to breathe when you came out your mother's womb? How the fuck, if you had a water breath, how did you know the right time to breathe? Explain. That's not logical thinking. That's intuitive thinking. So 5D consciousness usually means that people have a soul-based identity. They operate on unconditional love, and they have higher energy, which means faster manifestations. They have the mentality that seeing is believing and the mindset of abundance. And they believe that you co-create your own reality. So they don't play the victim. They take responsibility for their actions and whatever happens to them, because they believe that they co-create their reality with whatever higher power that they believe in. Now, how do you obtain 5D consciousness? That is a bumpy ass fucking ride. Jesus. You almost kind of have to die, if that makes sense. Like, not like physically die or your body is like no longer, operating and you're in a grave and you already had your funeral, etc., etc. Like, it's kind of like you have to be born again, but like an ego death. Perfect. You have to have an ego death to ascend to the fifth dimension. And that's perfect because the third dimension operates on you having an ego-based identity. So you have to kill that form of yourself and find your soul, find what your soul wants, and be what your soul wants you to be for you to ascend to fifth dimensional consciousness. Realize what's of the ego and not of the soul. When you're doing something, try to figure out if what you're doing is low vibrational or not. When you go throughout your life and you make choices, try to figure out if those choices are from a state of an abundance point of view or a scarcity point of view. Try to think intuitively, strengthen your intuition and try to make choices based on what your higher self wants, not what the ego wants. So once you've done all of that, then you're probably going to have symptoms. I know it's kind of weird, like, why would you have symptoms for, elevated consciousness when symptoms are usually in the physical form, concerning the body. Everything's connected. Everything's connected, bro. Just because you ascended consciousness doesn't mean that you lose your physical body. Yeah, you might feel lighter because you got all that, the baggage of worry and fear off your shoulders. But your physical form is still there. Not just gonna ascend into a dimensional plane, another dimensional plane. That's not what this is, fam. So yeah, you have symptoms because everything's connected and your body's like, okay, well, I'm going through all these changes, so something must be up. And then it starts giving all these symptoms and your soul is just like, dude, we're just being reborn. It's fine. But your physical doesn't understand that. It's just, a system that you're placed in. So it's like, well, something's got to be wrong. So when it does that, the symptoms could be migraines or headaches, blurry vision, ringing in the ears, a need to break free, career dissatisfaction, diet change, being overly emotional or random crying, and vivid dreams. But those are just some symptoms, but some people have different ones. You can look them up yourself. There's also a thing called spiritual flu, where you kind of feel the need to just cleanse yourself. You feel disgusting. Your mind's just so boggled up and you're just congested, as your soul is congested. And you just feel the need to just detox and let it all out. So during this, you might go on a cleaning frenzy. You might smoke up your house by smoke cleansing, daily, maybe twice a day. And just, it's really rough to go through, because no matter what you do, you just can't get rid of this congestion. And this lasts about a day or two, so 24 to 48 hours. To cure these symptoms, you can meditate, spend time in nature, engage in introspection, and change your diet or eat intuitively. So yeah, that's the video on the fifth dimension. And with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My shop link will be down in the description, along with all of my social media links and the music that I used. And thank you so much for being here. Bye.